How does it feel to live in the new Republic of Connecticut? It's not the Constitution state anymore, that's for sure. Like many of you, I've been up here for the last 4 months, testifying at hearings, sending emails to my senators, meeting with senators and representatives in order to make our voice heard. Well, I've got news for you. The battle in this state was lost a long time ago, but the war is not over. Newtown was just the catalyst that gave them the publicity and sympathy that they needed. This has never been about tragedy that occurred in Newtown or the safety of children. If it was, then the new law would have started with mental health and not had 62 pages of gun regulations first. The mental health provisions in this bill were added as an afterthought to try to get bipartisan support, and they're little more than promises of more government studies. This was about gun control from day one. Oh, sure, they said, oh, we need to look at mental health. Just let us ban guns and magazines and institute a couple of gun registries first. They call this common sense gun control. If they think that these measures are common sense, then I've never seen a better example of impaired mental health than Chris Murphy, Dick Blumenthal, or Governor Malloy. As the U.S. Senate showed this week, there are elected officials out there outside of this state that are willing to stand up against gun control. One of these days, maybe we can get some elected up here. The media and anti-gun crowd blatantly lie about facts. They constantly bully and ostracize anybody that's on the other side. They accuse the NRA and us and any gun rights groups of being radicals, terrorists, and felons. Just all this week, the media was foaming at the mouth, just hoping that the Boston bomber that they could classify as some right-wing gun nut. Well, if I wanted a world as messed up as they claim I want, I would have voted for Malloy to begin with. He's doing a far better job. They laughed and they ridiculed Wayne LaPierre when he said in December that the government should hire police officers as armed guards in every single one of our schools. This suggestion was so ridiculous that you know what Newtown did? They hired 4 police officers for their schools. Now that this law is passed, there's only one way to fight it. 234 years ago, there were 56 brave men that signed the Declaration of Independence. 11 years later, 39 delegates signed our own U.S. Constitution. Do you really think that these are the only ones that fought for our freedom? For each one of these men, tens of thousands of others stood beside them to fight for liberty. They fought for your rights, they fought for their children's rights, and they fought for your rights. You must do the same thing. Freedom and liberty are not rights that can be shared with the government. The right to keep and bear arms is a right that you can only give up once. You must take up the torch. You must fight against the influx of tyranny and progressivism. And yes, they are the same things. Modern day progressivism is the same thing as tyranny was 200 years ago. We've had thousands of people turn out at the Capitol during this debate. We need hundreds of thousands to turn out at the next election. You are not just fighting for your own right to bear arms. You're not just fighting for your firearms. You're fighting for the rights of your children and everybody that comes after them. You must be the one to change the Connecticut government. If you don't vote in off your elections, then you're not part of the problem. You are the problem. Get involved with your local RTCs and DTCs. Make sure that they send the representatives that show your views. Get your friends involved. Get your coworkers involved. It's not easy. It takes work, but you've got to do it. This is your only chance. The other side of this gun control debate wants to ostracize you and paint us as radicals for still believing in that old, outdated document, the Constitution. On Thursday last week, after the Senate vote, Chris Murphy came out and called the Senate gun control Darwinism. I like that. I'll be honest with you. I really like that. Gun control Darwinism. Because if Darwinism means survival of the fittest, then Chris Murphy, your days in Washington are numbered. You are unfit to hold office. You've all heard Governor Malloy call us the fringe of the fringe. Well, let me tell you something, folks. This is the only fringe that I'm part of. This is the fringe that you're part of. This fringe is cut from the same bolt of cloth as our founding fathers, and I'm down proud to be part of this fringe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob.